What a wonderful way to end my day, talking to you guys and delivering messages. So I pulled out cards today, some from tarot and then others from the Ascension deck that I really like, and I got pretty interesting messages. So the first message that came out was Two of Swords. And so I feel like it's possible that there's a decision, or there's a lot of decisions in your life that need to be made. I feel like maybe you're procrastinating making decisions. And, maybe you're just having a hard time making choices, or you're trying to figure out which direction you want to go in. And I feel like you have there could be a lot of chaos going on in your life right now, because it says that you might be having difficult experiences, heavy burdens, and I feel like your strength is being tested, because when I was digging through the drawer today, the strength card came out here, and then on this card it says that heavy burdens are testing your strength. So either this is the near the past, or it's going on right now, the recent past, or what's been going on right now, is that you're struggling with some heavy burdens. There's some chaos going on, and you feel like you have some opposing forces that you're fighting against. And the interesting thing about the Two of Swords is while this person looks like they're kind of like blinded and they can't see, all they really have to do is put the swords down, take off the blinders, and then they really can see. But they feel a little bit like they don't know what's going on, when in reality they just have to kind of like take a few steps, and then they'll be able to see what they need to see to make the decisions in their life that they need to make. So I feel like that's what you need to do. And it's time to take off the blindfold. It's time to make choices. Some of them are hard choices. I think about people in your life. I feel like right now you're concerning yourself too much with other people's obligations. I feel like people are dumping things too much onto you, because it says avoid troubling yourself with other people's obligations, cheer others on, but allow them to manage their own life. So I wrote that card. So I feel like maybe you're taking on too many of other people's problems and situations. And you know what's interesting is sometimes when we do that, we think we're helping those people, but you're actually harming them. You're actually stunting their growth, because they're not able to, you're basically saying, I don't have faith in you on a spiritual level that you can manage your own life problems, so I'm going to intervene and do it for you. And then they don't learn the spiritual lessons they're supposed to learn when you do that. So it's better, you can cheer people on. You see this little star, this little cheerleader star. So it's okay to cheer people on and help them, but don't overly take on their responsibilities. And I don't know, this S might be significant. I don't know. Maybe your name begins with a S. Maybe something to do with S. And also, I got a kind of a download about this, because this coffee is here, or this drink. I feel like maybe you're drinking too much caffeine or coffee. You might want to watch that, because it could be adding to the stress in your life and the chaos. Because sometimes if you overly drink caffeinated things, it'll cause you more anxiety, and it'll increase your anxiety. So just watch what you're drinking. And that could also be like alcohol, tea. I feel like you need more water, just more pure water. You can even overdrink too much juice too, where you're getting too much sugar, and it's just kind of keeping you kind of foggy and giving you those crashes throughout the day. But you're still a star. You're going to still come out a star, and you're going to heal the situation. But allow others to be the star of their own life. Don't try to be the star for everyone's life, because when you do that, you just cause imbalance, and you just put yourself in stressful situations. And then it says, follow the fun. You'll be living in high cotton and feeling wealthy and successful soon. So the next card that came out was Seven of Pentacles. So I think there's money issues that you need to look at. You need to check your budget. Do you even have a budget? Because I think a lot of Americans, or just people in general, don't have budgets, or we've kind of gotten away from that. especially now that everything's online in your bank. You don't really have to write everything down. It just gets drafted out. But sometimes it's helpful to look at your budget and make sure that you're keeping everything, you know, scrutinized, and that you're aware, because you can spend money in ways very easily. It can just sort of like leak out. And before you know it, you're buying all this Uber Eats, or you're buying, you know, things that you really don't need. And also, it could go the other way too. Maybe you need to tighten your budget, and then some of you might be following way too strict of a budget, and then you're out of balance with that too. Because when you are very stingy and afraid of spending money, you stop the flow of money. You have to spend to receive back. And so sometimes it helps to give money, kind of like the widow in the Bible who gave her last coin out of faith. And Jesus said, you know, she'll be blessed the most because she gave her very last, because she created that flow, that universal flow. So you don't want to be too strict with holding money, and you don't want to give money away freely either. You want to balance it. So figure out how it resonates for you. Either you're spending too much money and you're being too free and you're not paying enough attention to your budget, or you're being way too strict, way too miserly, and that will also stop the flow of money, okay? And it will block you. So it says there's unfinished, leaving things unfinished, tying up loose ends, things left unresolved, and you need to see certain things through. And I feel, and there's this puzzle, so like I feel like there's some missing puzzle piece, or there's something you're missing, you're not seeing, that you're gonna figure out. But I do believe this puzzle piece you're gonna find the missing piece, whether it's with your budget, with your financial situation, with the job situation, and you will be feeling wealthy and successful after you get this flow, because I feel like there's a block with your budget. So that's a message there. And you need to evaluate your progress before proceeding. Make sure you're always evaluating and assessing yourself. I don't feel like a lot of us don't take the time to do that every day. Check in with yourself on every aspect of your life, right? Because this is Seven of Pentacles, I think this is money related situation that you're dealing with, okay? And reevaluate certain projects in your life and make sure that you're not missing anything. Because I feel like, remember how I said the missing piece of the puzzle and unfinished? So that's what this card is saying. There's something you might be missing. And make sure you're saving money if you can. Save, even if it's just a couple dollars here and there. Every bit counts. Always save for a rainy day, right? Because I feel like there is a Tower moment coming because the Tower card came. So be prepared for the Tower. It's coming. But a lot of people get really upset about the Tower. But the Tower actually helps you, because when the Tower comes, it's the universe telling you that something you're building or doing is on a faulty foundation, and it's not going to stand the test of time. So it's better for it to come down so you can start over and you can fix and learn the lesson you need to learn. Because of course we know the next card is the Star card, right? Which, here's the Star in the first card that came out. So healing. This is about healing your financial situation, putting chaos to an end, seeing things for what they are, taking off the blinders and being willing to actually see the situation, the financial situation, the good, the bad, and the fugly. And it says it's time right now. If it's bad news, when the Tower comes down, it seems bad, but the good news is it gives you a chance to rebuild. So it says that you're going to feel happy in your life. There's going to be an incident that's going to make you happy, and you're going to have a smoother ride through life, and you're going to be on top of the world, and you're going to live in high cotton. But there is a situation, I don't know if it's a person that you're with that's causing chaos and that's keeping you and or it could just be an unpredictable event that's about to come into your life. There could be an unpredictable financial event, okay? And there are heavy burdens that are going to test your strength, and that's part of this tower. But you're going to come through, and you're eventually going to be financially well off. But you have to have strength, and you have to have the expectation, because this card, expectancy, came up. So expect the best. Always expect the best and be positive. Even if it's the most chaotic moment, try to stop, take a deep breath, and realize you should expect the best. Always. And then also trust came out. So trust that the universe is conspiring for you. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. So whatever this tower moment is, this unpredictable event, you're going to get through it. You're going to find happiness, but you have to go through this unfinished business and this last thing, that some kind of situation that you're having to deal with that's challenging for you. And yeah, there's some a little bit of shaky ground that's going on. And I think this has to do with boundaries too. It has to do with boundaries, because maybe you haven't set boundaries. I really feel like you're allowing people around you, you're taking on too many of their problems, or you're allowing them to be too distracting to you. You're maybe spending too much of your money on other people instead of focusing on your own budget, or you're not setting boundaries in some kind of way, right? So they're being tested, and you're not surrendering, which is interesting, because last night I gave a reading about the black cat surrendering to the universe. So there's some way that you're not surrendering, and try not to fight this tower moment. A tower moment, when that happens, is it's like an unpredictable and an unexpected event that's fated to happen. And it's usually it's pretty much always for your best and your highest good and growth. So don't fight it. Surrender to it. Stand your ground and stay true to yourself. So you might have to stand your ground. This could be with kids. Maybe your kids are asking you for money that you don't think you should be spending right now. Maybe someone wants you to go, for example, for me, I had a tower moment this week. There went my wand. I had a tower moment this week because my really good friend wanted to go on this cruise to Europe. And, it looked amazing. We were going to go on the Danube River and all that, but it was like $7,000, which is okay, fine, but then it didn't include the flight. And then also, because the way I work is I make money if I go to work, I make money if I don't go to work, I don't make money, I don't get vacation time off. So for me to miss, and it was going to be 12 days, so I would have missed so much work that it would have been about like about 15,000, 14,000 if it's all said and done. And I was just like, she really wanted me to go on this trip, and I just was like, I could pay off my car. There's just so many other things I could do with that money. And I was like, yeah, I could do it. I have it in the savings, but do I want to? And do I think that's the right choice? And I kept trying to tell her, and she did not want to take no for an answer, and she got really angry. We went to dinner, and she accepted that, because what's she gonna do? Say, oh, I hate your guts because you don't want to spend $8,000 on a cruise? No. But at the dinner, she just started getting really nasty about other things and being really intense and angry. I could just tell. And it was stressful for me, because it's hard for me to say no. That's one of my biggest challenges, is setting boundaries with people and not people pleasing. But I did it. I set the boundaries, and it was a bit of a tower moment. I think it was a tower moment for her. And it was a tower moment for me, because I didn't want to see her upset, and I just dreaded it. I was telling everyone I'm dreading going to this dinner and telling her all this. But I had to do it, because if I didn't do it, it was going to put me in even a more tower moment later on down the road, when there's just so many unpredictable things that could happen. I just didn't want to spend that money in that way, right? So it's something that you're going through like that too, where someone's pressuring you. Maybe they're trying to get you to buy a new car. It could be your boyfriend wants to buy a new car, or your girlfriend wants to take a trip, or your girlfriend wants, I don't know, this or that. Or it could be your children are wanting money for something, or your family, your parents. But it's up to you to set the boundary, because if you do set the boundaries and if you don't set these boundaries and this tower moment comes, it's going to cause more chaos in the future. Okay, that is what the cards are saying. It's going to be a heavy burden, and it's going to test your strength, and there's going to be some kind of unpredictable event that's going to happen in the future that you're going to regret having spent this money. Whatever this is, giving this money, spending too much money, something to do with money financially that you're going to regret. Or if you don't spend it, because remember, this says it could go either way. So there could be something where you feel like you really do need to spend that money. Maybe it's like for something for your kids' college. And that's something that if you too tight about it, you might regret that too. So whatever this decision is financially, whether to spend more or to spend less, you have the strength to do it, and you need to make sure that you're mindful about it so you can avoid a tower moment. It might be a tower moment for the people around you though, but always do set your boundaries and do what's best for your highest good. If you don't know, pray and meditate on it. It will come to you, and follow your intuition at all times, which is what this card came out to say that I pulled. It says, you must notice those around you, family, friends, and coworkers. Question their intentions. The demons around you are making themselves known. Trust your intuition 100%, which is interesting because what did I tell you? The card in the drawer that came out was trust. So it's 2 trust cards. So you have to trust that you're going to make the right decision. Do not allow others around you, families, this card specifically says, family, friends, and coworkers. Do not allow them to influence you, okay? All right. Now, they want you also, spirits are telling me that they want you, it says the ordinary focus on what they are getting. The extraordinary think about what they are becoming. So don't think about your finances as what am I getting, what am I spending. Try to think of the bigger picture. Think about how your finances are becoming and evolving. Look at the long term. Don't focus on instant gratification and just the here and now. And don't say, well, I'm not getting this huge bonus and feel defeated or whatever. I'm not making as much as I want, or I want to make this much, or I want to spend this much. Focus on how your finances, how they are becoming and they are evolving, not just on what they are now and the here and now and what am I getting and what am I spending. Look at the bigger picture, okay? And it says, avoid taking on too many things at one time. So that's 2 cards telling you to avoid things. So that could also be avoid taking on too many things that you have to spend money on. Because also, I'm going on a trip to Vegas on Thursday, Las Vegas. Ooh, hopefully I'll win and be rich. No, I'm just going for fun. But I'm going with my sister and my mom for that trip. So, if I took that and the cruise, and then I might take another trip with my kids between those trips. So it's a lot. So I realized I had to tell my friend because I had to avoid taking on too many things at one time. So make sure financially that you're not overextending yourself, because it's going to cause chaos and it's going to cause heavy burdens that are going to lead to regret. If you balance everything, then you will go on an adventure and you will be able to use your money, and your resources are going to lead you to a fun adventure in the future. But you have to balance it and work on the boundaries, okay? Stay true to yourself. Listen to your intuition. Lady Luck is on her side, because see the ladybug and the rose. Roses are always looking. Because I have a rose tattoo, so I love roses. But anyways, also it says, and I feel like there's people involved in this too, because you know, the Five of Swords came out, and it says that you could be getting caught up in a struggle to better yourself. And I think this could be another thing, is like maybe you're trying so hard to improve your situation that you're neglecting. Make sure that you're not trying to improve your financial situation so much that you're ignoring your family and friends, okay? But also don't spend so much time with your friends and your family that you're ignoring your financial situations. It could go either way, right? It's very important that you balance that. Reevaluate any fights that you've let yourself be drawn into. So if this is a spouse you're fighting about this, if it's your kids, if it's your mom, don't allow yourself to be drawn into fighting over this financial situation that's affecting you. Okay? Don't accept every invitation for an argument. Sometimes things are not worth arguing over. Sometimes no is a complete sentence. You don't have to justify yourself and explain and get drawn into that chaos. Someone's trying to draw you into chaos regarding your finances. Okay? And a hand offered is better than a sword drawn, which is like the Five of Swords. So make sure that you're trying to negotiate and talk things out rather than get into some big blow up, violent, screaming fight. Okay? It's not going to be worth it. Avoid chaos at this time. And then this online card came out right here. And it says, being active on social media, strong social media presence, influence, emails, online dating, online business. So just make sure you're paying attention to your online. If you bank online, you have accounts online, make sure that everything is accurate and that your passwords are safe and everything is smooth online, because it could cause some kind of issue. There could be an issue with that. And also don't get pulled into any kind of drama on social media, like about, don't get pulled into that mentality of keeping up with the Joneses. Just because you see other people on social media spending money or doing certain things doesn't mean you have to do those things too, okay? And also don't allow other people to shame you for how you spend money and how you're handling your social media, because there could be some kind of drama or chaos that's linked to social media. Okay, so just be careful with that. Be mindful of it. Because you don't want to just be surviving, barely hang on, living paycheck to paycheck. Burnout is knocking at your door, no savings, limited resources. So that's the thing. You don't want to get to this. So if you balance your finances, you set boundaries, you check your budget, you find all the missing pieces to the puzzle to heal your financial situation, then you will not end up this. You do not want to be living paycheck to paycheck and exhausting your savings account. Okay? So that's very important. And you do not want to be in burnout mode. And see, that's what would happen. If I went on that cruise, I would have to be working double shifts. I would have to really be working a lot harder, and I would be stressing, and it would exhaust my savings account. I just didn't want to do it. And it was hard to say no. But I don't want to be like this with an empty wallet, and neither do you. So there's some people you're going to have to say no, or there's some people you might have to say yes to. Maybe there's some things you have to spend money on, but you need to be mindful of which direction you need to go in. And your angels are going to help you to use your intuition to choose wisely and make the right choice. So, Moon, listen to your intuition, intense emotions, deception, hidden truth, and proceed with caution. So I feel like there could be some financial things being hidden from you. If you're married, you have a partner, they might be hiding financial information. They might be spending more than you know about. They might be opening up credit cards you don't know about. They might be giving money to other people you don't know about. Your kids might be buying things for their friends. Your parents might be gambling when you give them money and saying that they need it for their medicine. I don't know. But pay attention to deception and make sure you're not being deceived. And listen to your intuition. That's coming out in like several cards. It's very, very important. There could be some intense emotions and some chaos coming out. I feel like you're going to experience resistance, and that's part of that Tower moment and setting boundaries. Don't allow these intense emotions to sway you and force you into doing something that you know is not going to help you financially in your future. Big warning on that. I'm telling you, proceed with caution. Okay. And then the Magician. So, but you have the ability. You're a magician. You are a master manifester. So you do have the ability. You have all the tools you need to make things happen and to balance your finances, even if you feel like you don't, okay? And you're being challenged to create the life that you want. So remember to say your affirmations for finance, and especially when it comes to money and manifesting things. What you bring into the world is yours. So remember, your mind is powerful. Do not avoid lack mentality. See yourself being wealthy. See yourself being abundant and having plenty at all times. Engage your mind, hands, and your heart today. Use your mind, your hands, and your heart to draw on everything good, all the positive things the universe has for you, okay? So here's another thing that came up because I pulled a shadow card. So shadow cards help us to focus on things to heal our shadow side, which helps us to grow and become better people, better spirits. So resentful, avoid being resentful. Think loving thoughts for the person or yourself that you resent. It's restricting your emotional happiness. So that this really goes along with this whole thing with my friend, because I know she felt really resentful and I felt kind of resentful and I felt, stressed having to tell her no. But I realized that it was for both of our highest good. There's a reason why my intuition was telling me not to do this cruise. I guarantee you there's going to be a very clear reason. I'll probably be back on here talking about it in a few months. But I don't want to be resentful of her for wanting me to go on that. You know what I'm saying? And because it was keeping me from being emotionally happy, because I was very stressed out about having to have this discussion with her about this financial trip, and the finances, all of it like that. But I've been, I told her the truth. I know she was angry, but I've been trying to send loving thoughts so that we heal the situation. I told her we could go on a smaller trip. I compromised with her. I said we could go to like Mexico or someplace in America that's not quite so far to Europe, because whatever. And not so much time away, because, like I said, I have to work. If I don't show up to my job, I don't make money. I don't get like a salary type thing. So we compromise. So I feel like there could be a situation, your finances that you're going to have to compromise, whether it's with your kids, your loved one, I don't know. It could be your wife, your husband, whoever. But avoid being resentful, okay? Because it will restrict your emotional happiness, okay? Think loving thoughts no matter how angry you get. And no matter how frustrated you get, avoid being resentful, okay? And then the other advice was to add more color to your life in order to flourish more in all areas of your life, to attract positivity, wear, eat, and notice vibrant colors. So also notice this card happens to be green, which green is the color of money. So wear more green, eat green foods. Green helps to heal your heart chakra, and it helps you to manifest. So that will also help your financial situation. I know it sounds crazy, but it really works. You should try it. Okay, so that's your message. Those are all of your messages. There's just one thing. I have these I love you cards that I bought a long time ago, and it's all different ways to say I love you. So this is what God says. He says, I love you forever and ever, no matter what. So your creator loves you unconditionally, no matter what. Even if you do get resentful, even if you do screw up your budget, even if you completely mess this whole thing up, God still loves you, and you can always fix it. You can always rebuild after a tower moment, okay? All right, so those are your messages tonight. I love you guys. Mwah. Sleep well, or whatever you're doing. Have a great life after this video. Goodbye.